Hi, boys and girls. Welcome back to more science. So, today, after reading about soil and becoming experts on it, now you get to make an edible soil layer. This should help you remember the different soil or the different layers in our soil. So, I sent the link with different ways to make it. Get creative. So here's what I thought I would make. So the bottom layer, if you remember, is called the bedrock. So the bedrock is the lowest layer of soil. It's a solid rock layer. So I decided, because it's kind of dark and light with different colored rocks, I mixed some chocolate and peanut butter, chocolate chips. So these are my rocks. These are my rocks, my bedrock, my bottom layer. Then, if you remember, what's next is the parent material. It's mostly rock that has been slightly weathered. Not many things live down here except for really big tree roots. So I'm going to put my Oreo. It's not as hard. It can break really easily, very, very easily. So I'm putting that on top of my bedrock. That is my parent material. On top of my parent material is the subsoil. It is made mostly of sand, silt, and clay that has been broken down. So now what I'm doing is I'm really crumpling up my Oreo so that it's kind of mixed and it feels a little more gritty like sand. And then parts of it feel like clay. So it's kind of a mix. It's been broken down more. That is my subsoil layer. Then we've got two more layers. The next one was called the topsoil. So this is made mostly of minerals, and most plant roots live here. This layer is very dark in color because of the dying plants and animal matter. So the perfect thing for this is definitely chocolate pudding or something like this. Dark in color and more smooth and more soft. So I'm going to pour my topsoil on. I'm almost to the top of the earth, almost to the top of my soil. Now, boys and girls, what lives underneath that layer? When you start digging, when I was digging my garden this past weekend, I kept running into these little animals when I was digging to plant my seeds. I kept running into these guys. So I'm going to drop a couple of these silly worms into I'll show you, I know you can't see it. Drop this into my soil. Now, we usually don't just see them on top. We have to dig to see them. So we do need to cover our topsoil and our worms with some, and Mrs. Ewan doesn't know if I'm saying this right, humus. So I don't think it's hummus, but I could be wrong. This is the top layer. It contains a lot of living material. So, I wanted to make something that I know my kids would eat. And a lot of the ideas that I kept reading were coconut, and my kids don't really like coconut. So I decided to get something I know they would eat. So on top of my worms, I'm pretending these are living materials, my raisins. These are decaying plants, leaves, living material, moss, just all that, just kind of stuff that you see when you just start looking at soil. What's on top? It's all kind of just random stuff, isn't it? So I could add more stuff, but I don't want to waste this food. I want my kids to actually eat it. So I know they will, because they don't love raisins, but they'll eat them. So here, again, helps me. I've got my bedrock at the bottom, which is my Oreo. And then I've got my parent material, which is my bedrock was my chips. Then I've got my Oreo for my parent material. Then I've got my subsoil layer, which is kind of the broken down Oreo. My topsoil, remember, is the smooth dark. That's my pudding. And that's where I'm going to find a lot of my worms. And then on top, I've got all the stuff we see outside, all the living things. So enjoy, try it at home.